Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Chad.
This week we're covering Rats, Night of Terror, 1984.
Welcome to Ratuary.
Rats. What do they want from us? Rats. Why are they man's enemy? Rats. They are watching and waiting. Rats. Their time has come. Why do rats repel us? What is it about those little furry bodies that's so frightening? Just think of them close to you.
They're here. They're coming. God, no!
Who could stop them, and how? Rats are here, under our feet, all around us.
Come on, out in the open so I can smash you to pieces! Come to the slaughter!
A strange rat from another community came into it. He was soon killed. And afterwards eaten.
Seething, teeming millions, their little red eyes gleaming with rage and hunger. And they're waiting for you.
No! I don't want to die like that! No! They'll eat us alive! They'll kill us all! Kill all of us!
For the last time, I'm warning you. Drop the guns, Kurt. Go on.
You'll never get away.
You two move that console and barricade yourselves in.
No.
I'll try to stop them.
Rats, they're waiting for you. Tonight, because this is your night of terror. Here come the rats.
This is an Italian film, and
Written and directed by Brunomattei, who you might know from some little fun films like Cruel Jaws, Scalps, Night Killer, which is an insane movie. He's done a lot of stuff as a writer, director, editor. He's done an insane amount of stuff, and it's all reasonably insane.
this was I'm just going to go right into telling everyone this was a tough fucking watch.
Oh, this is a rough movie. If this had been a 30-minute episode of Tales from the Crypt, it would have been pretty good.
It would have. This is one of those, like, let's not remake a movie that people love. Like,
let's remake this movie.
Let's remake movies that are not as known, that have potential, but could be something amazing. Because I feel like if someone were to redo this movie, cut down the runtime, because I don't know how long this is. It felt like it was 5 hours long, but obviously it was not 5 hours long.
I think it was only about an hour and a half, but woo, it was a long hour and a half.
It was a lot. We have seen many Italian films. We've covered Italian films before. But I feel like this one was the worst with the translation.
Yeah.
The dialogue, the script was it was all over the place. It didn't make sense a lot of the times. It was just randomized. I don't know.
So this starts off and tells us, in the Christian year 2015, the nuclear war happened. 225 years later, society is fractured into two groups.
AB, by the way, after bomb.
Yeah, this is 225 AB. So there's two groups of people. The people that live on the surface, that are primitive and savages, and the smarter people that live below Earth, that haven't live underground. They haven't come up yet. They're still under there, and the two groups hate each other, they say. but then we never really see the two groups interact in the movie, so we don't really know why that is.
We don't know why they hate each other, but well, they do say because the people down below believe that the people above are savages.
Yeah.
So apparently in the 225 years, radiation is gone. And it's safe to live above board, we assume. They don't even tell you where this group of friends or people that just randomly know each other, because at one point in the movie, something happens and they're like, well, we should have known about this guy. And it's like, isn't that guy your friend? Have you been traveling with him the whole time? If you suspected he was a rapist and a murderer, wouldn't you already have known that? And why would you have him along with you if you felt some kind of way?
Yeah.
I will say that the leader is very attractive. I don't know if that matters to anyone. He was very good looking. We do not see him naked at all. And you're like, Betty, that's a weird thing to say. Well, it's an Italian film, so there's going to be some nudity.
Yeah, and there definitely was.
There was some nudity, and it was...
Let's talk about this cast of characters first. We've got our group that looks like people made different player characters for Fallout games and had them all roaming around. We've got people dressed like... We've got the Countess, her name was Lilith. We were calling her Countryella because she's wearing a cowboy hat when we first meet her, a leather swimsuit with studs on it, fishnet stockings and high heels and a cape. And she's carrying...
I'm sorry, not Dracula's cape.
Yeah, like the red and black Dracula cape. And she's carrying what looks like a 2x4 with a sword nailed into the end of it. Mm-hmm. That's a definite Fallout weapon right there. We've got the Hare Krishna guy.
Hare Krishna.
We've got
the Hare Krishnas are alive and well in 225
We've
AD.
Got several bikers. We've got Lucifer, Lilith's boyfriend, and then we have Video, the computer expert.
Even though throughout the movie he comes across technology, he doesn't know how to use it, and he keeps saying, God, I wish I could just find a video game. But yet, he also said in the movie that he's never played one. So yeah. I don't know why
he just
got
wants
the name
to try
video.
it. Yeah. So the thing starts off, and they're driving.
Wait. You just skipped over that the rest of the people... The other two men, one is dressed like a freaking colonel or some shit.
Yeah, he's like the old timey, with the epaulets on the shoulder and all this kind of stuff, and he's got a sword. And then we have the black woman, and I'm going to give you a guess what her name is. Of course, her name is Chocolate.
Yeah.
As soon as we saw on the credits, it said her name as Chocolate. I was like, oh, this is going to be the black lady in the show. Because that's just the 1980s Italian mentality for you right there.
Yeah, not because we felt or thought that would be a thing. Well, I mean, we did, but not in a racist way.
That's the kind of an inappropriate thing they were going to do in a 1980s, Italian horror movie.
Yeah.
So you've got this cast of characters roaming around, and they drive up into what looks like the leftover sets from Escape from New York. Which apparently these are the leftover sets from Once Upon a Time in America, which I believe is a Sergio Leone movie that was filmed in Italy and didn't get, after it was done, they just left these sets sitting there. So that's why there's bar sets, and they just added some of the typical sci-fi stuff to the basement. Let's put in a couple of weird looking computers. Let's put in a hydroponic plant bay, which is growing all kinds of flowers, and oranges. That's it. That's all we saw. So oh no, these scientists were going to, grow their own food so they could survive above hand. And they are growing flowers and one orange. That was all we saw. Because I think that's all the budget they had was we could only afford one piece of fruit to go in this thing. And as soon as they start getting in, you start to see the rats. Piles and piles of rats everywhere.
So many rats. And there was one rat, which I'm like, how? I've never seen a rat like this. I don't know if they painted it. It didn't look painted. The front part of it was white. And the back part of it was completely it was white and gray. It was I was like, what is this? And they all had like weird beady red eyes. And I obviously am not a rat person, so I thought only rats that were white, which is probably going to sound really stupid, but rats only had red eyes, white rats. But they all had, and there were so many of them. And guys, I'm just going to just go right and just tell you right now, there were many scenes where it looked like the actor, someone was just standing above, like on top of a fucking like can or a box, and just pouring these rats on the actors. Okay,
I'm gonna tell you right.
It just looked insane. It was just like in Friday the 13th when we know that someone threw that cat through the window. It was just like that.
I looked up some information about this, and apparently that is exactly what they did, was dump buckets of rats on people. And some of the rats had even died, and they just left them in the bucket and just dumped the dead rats on the actors.
Oh no!
Look, this is the 1980s in Italy. You know they probably killed hundreds of rats making this movie.
There were so many rats.
And the actors openly threw things at the rats and hit them like with glasses and stuff in scenes. So I'm sure, given the culture at the time, they murdered quite a few rats in the making of this movie.
Don't be throwing rats on me, man. Like, those rats carry disease. We all know that they weren't going through a fucking, like, rat disease checking system. They were like, we need the rat man to come with fucking 5,000 rats.
No, what they did was they caught 100 rats and left them alone for a week, and they bred like 50,000 rats right in the cages they had them in, because you know that's what happened.
That's fucking worse.
Yeah.
Because what happened to all these rats afterwards?
Oh, they turned them loose, I'm sure, and just let them run the countryside. Just like in the, Werner Herzog, they turned a bunch of rats loose in the thing.
Oh, hell no.
And just got loose in the city there for that. And remember in Creepshow, Romero and them were breeding the cockroaches they got from other countries got loose.
No.
So, you know, back in this day, when they were done with all these animals, they just opened the door and said, yeah, and just put them all out into the streets, and that was it. They were done. They were like, well, we are out, folks.
Not here.
Yeah. So I'm sure they just kicked all these rats out, and they took over whatever area of Italy they were filming in until someone, you know, contracted the actual rat man to come in and take care of them. But, so the rats come in and just start murdering people. You know, they trick them, they lure them away one at a time. And, of course, there's a room I was like, oh my god, I've built this house in Fallout before. They go into one of the rooms in this building where they're at, and it's just a big empty room with a row of, like, beds. Like the old metal frame beds against the wall. I'm like, yep, this is Fallout. Everyone's just sitting in the beds, kind of leaned up against the thing, trying to sleep. And Lucifer and Lilith just jump in the sleeping bag on the floor and just start having sex. And everyone loudly, like, they are going at it like crazy.
Okay.
And everyone's like, oh my god, can you please just be quiet? And they're like, no, we can't.
No, but this is the thing. You hear them fornicating before you even see them. And you're thinking, okay, because the camera's panning from each bed. And mind you, these people are sleeping in this. It's like they didn't even know what a bed was. Like, they were just sleeping in the strangest of ways that you would know. No one in the history of man has ever slept this way. That's literally what I thought. I was like, they never seen a bed. They never laid in a bed before. And then...
And did they tell the actors to act like you don't really know how to sleep in a bed because you've slept in the desert your whole life? Or were these people all just like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to sleep in the bed weirdly and get attention. And they were like, well, if he's doing it, I'm going to do it too. And they all just copied each other, and then it got weird.
Maybe. I don't know. And then the camera pans finally down to the last bed with the last guy who, man, what was that guy's name? He had a unique name.
Yeah,
but
I'll look it up.
Whatever his name was. Damn, it's going to bother me about this fucking name.
I'll find it.
His name was so stupid and
they
annoying.
all had annoying names like Lucifer and that kind of stuff.
His name was Trax or something. Well, whatever his name was. And then there wasn't a sleeping bag. These people were just going at it.
Right at the end next to him.
And yeah, everyone's annoyed, you know, like, get out of here. There's even one, the leader even has his girlfriend in the bed with him, and he's like, I'm not fucking my girl. Like,
oh, Taurus, yes. Oh, goodness, Taurus. So Taurus is bothered. They're all bothered. So they go off to another part of
whatever we want to fucking call this, because it was like a saloon bar at the bottom, but when they came in, but then in the bottom
is all the scientific equipment and computers,
and there's like a control room, and like you said, all those other rooms, and then like as the movie's going on, because I'm like, what is going on in this movie? I'm like, okay, so they found some bodies which they picked up and they threw outside in a pile and they fucking burned them to death with a fucking flamethrower.
The bodies all conveniently, their faces were eaten off, so you couldn't see what they look like. So this will come into play later.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Their faces were eaten. They were wearing the yellow hazmat suits or whatever.
And their faces were all eaten off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but wait. Okay.
No, there's no answers to those questions. I'm just going to tell you that now.
I know. But then they find a recording of one of the scientists there in there, and then I'm thinking, but wait. ... Okay. So, yeah, the whole film is just all over the place. There's just so many different parts. Like, the one, everyone, it's like, a horror movie. It's like, don't separate. Everyone stay together. But then random bullshit happens. And there's even, like, fighting amongst a group of who's going to be the leader. And my thing is, like, right early on, why don't they just fucking leave? Like, they know this shit's weird, but they don't leave. And then when they try to leave, it's too late because the rats ate all their tires.
The rats have chewed through all the tires, so they can't leave.
And I'm telling you this, I'm going back in the desert. I'm just a walking. Like, I got my, what was the gun that you said it was? I got my gun sword.
Yeah, the gun on the stick, or the knife on the stick. They've got the flamethrower. They've all got different shotguns. They've got the one that looks like they just put 3 barrels on a pistol, like on a piece of metal, and put it there. Like, they're like, oh, that's his unique gun.
Yeah, everyone has fucking weapons. There's no reason for them not to have taken a walk to the next town or whatever the hell and get the hell out of this fucking rat town. That's what I would have done. I'm not sticking around rat town, okay? I don't want rats crawling on me. This is the part that also just drew me crazy. When the couple goes away to fornicate in the other part of wherever the fuck they're at.
Yeah.
And they're booty ass naked, okay? Because they were not, I mean, we're going to assume they probably were naked in the bag, even though they didn't seem naked, which I know sounds weird, but they get stuck in the bag and it's this whole thing. But they're booty naked on the floor, bro, with the rats. It's like, I'm sorry.
And there's a plot point about
post-apocalyptic thing. I'm not like hot to fuck on the floor. It's like a cobblestone floor. It's cold, okay?
And there's rats everywhere.
With rats. This is not suited bodies. Rats don't make me hot, okay? I'm not about the rats. Maybe, if there was no rats, okay, the floor's cold, okay, maybe I can do that. But not with the rats around. I'm sorry. And then
there was a plot point about, too, that part of the reason when the guy tells them they have to get up and leave, they're like, we can't get out of this. We're stuck inside the sleeping bag.
Oh, yes.
And he has to pop the zipper for him to get out. And he's like,
Taurus has to help him, yeah.
All you got to do is remain calm and you can get out of it. Well, of course, later, after they finish having sex, Lucifer kisses Lilith and is like, hey, let's go again. And she's like, nah, I'm good. And he gives her the whole speech about, you bitches. You just want to lead men on. That's all you're good for. And blah, blah, blah.
It's like she just finished having sex. Not once, but twice. Because they were and they were like, I'm telling you, it was no holds barred. Like, he was pumping in that fucking thing at first when they were in the other room with all the people. Yeah. He was going at it. He was thrusting. There was a lot of thrusting moments. There was a lot of moaning. There was a lot of fornicating going on.
He goes off and he gets rat murdered.
I mean, I'm sorry. I can't get past the part where, like, you had me there fornicating in front of, where I'm doing it in front of everyone. It's like post-apocalyptic. I'm not wet for that. My pussy is dry, okay? The pussy is dry. I don't want to be doing this. And then he thinks that she's going to just continue on with the dryness. Like, how selfish is this man? Okay, I'm sorry. That really bothered me because it's just like, we in a dirty ass rat infested fucking place and you just expect my juices to be flowing at your beck and fucking call. Like, what the hell? So he leaves her, and she stays in the bag.
And he gets immediately rat murdered because he starts drinking like a fish, just chugging wine or whatever he's got over there. We can't tell exactly what it is because apparently J&B paid for product placement, but not this one that they had him drink from, because it had a piece of tape right across the label where you couldn't see what it was.
It was some kind of wine, but yeah, because we were like, oh, after 225, more than that. All this time, these bottles are fucking not dry as hell, like to the bone. How are they still? But the wine, we get, okay, the wine.
Maybe it would stay.
So that's what he drank.
But the rat goes after, he gets murdered by the rats because he's drunk, and the rats trick him into falling down into the sewer and they eat him. Then Lilith gets it because, of course, the rat goes in the sleeping bag and she can't get out. And guess where the rat goes?
Yeah, so this is the most horrifying part. I thought when she was sleeping and the rat is trying to find its way into the fucking thing, I thought, okay, well, we know where this is going to be going, right? But that's not going to happen. That's not going to be a thing that happens. And I thought first she was going to be moaning, or maybe she thinks the guy's back and trying to get her going again, But yeah, we see the rat enter. And we see her
going in the sleeping bag, and then that's
the sleeping bag, and we see her her eyes are oh, and she's whatever, and then we goes to another room where the people hear her scream, and everyone's getting up and running to see what's going on, and that bitch is dead in the fucking sleeping bag. Okay, she's dead. But then it looks like she's trying to say something.
And they're like, look, she's trying to talk. And of course, it is the rat coming out of her mouth.
That probably was the most horrifying scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, the rat just crawling out of her, and they're all freaking out and screaming. And this just breaks the one girl's brain. She's never bright after this. She is just constantly freaking out and just screaming.
This was so horrifying, okay, that the woman in the movie, like you just stated, she lost her ever-loving fucking mind. There's one part where she's dancing like a ballerina. Yeah, she's just fucking dancing like she's on stage and giving the best performance of her life. She has her sanity left the building when she saw. And a little bit of my sanity also left the building because
it was rough time.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever fucking seen, because I'm just thinking, I had so many thoughts. My thought was, did this woman have to hold a fucking rat in her fucking mouth and push it out with her tongue? Was it a fucking toy? I have so many questions. I don't know. It's 1984, bitch. Oh, what's going on?
But then frequently in the movie, people would get eaten by rats, and at one point someone explodes. Their body just makes a kaboom and blows blood and guts, and rats everywhere come flying out at people. It made no damn sense whatsoever.
This whole movie didn't make fucking sense. There was a lot of plot holes.
Eventually they find a recording in what looks like a portable disco ball with a metal grate over it, and they're like, hey, let's see if we can get this to play. And they play, and it's the scientists talking about how they're living in this place and they're trying to do everything, but the rats have come, and the rats seem to be super intelligent, and the rats are attacking us and killing us, and I don't know if we're going to make it. Spoiler alert, they did not make it. And then the rats just keep whittling them down until there's 4 or 5 of them left, and they're in the room upstairs. And this is what kills me, is the guy tells them, barricade the door. They do not barricade the door. They just stack shit up in one corner of the room and hide behind it. And then he tries to hold the door shut while the big rat wave is pushing on the other side of it, which of course just topples in, and the rats. But they also, when they went upstairs to this room, the woman who had the rat come out of her mouth, his body is still in there, so they just throw her body out and into the hallway.
Okay. That part did not make any
later on
sense.
As the rats are flying back into the room by the thousands, her body just comes flying back in. I guess the rats just threw it back because they were like, we didn't want this chick, we got rid of her in the first place.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole rat thing, because She was nowhere in that. That was a hallway. She wasn't in the fucking hallway. She was in the room in the fucking bag.
I guess they picked her up and carried her at some point.
The rats picked her up and carried her?
No, the people.
No, we're going to say the rats picked her up and carried her because it looked like they were using the way when the door topples down onto the people. Her body just fucking jettisons, just fucking also just like fucking appears. And I'm like, it looked like they were using her to bang the door
like
a battering ram. Yes.
They were just using her corpse as a battering ram. I mean, they were. But what gets me is they always talk about, oh, the rats are so smart. The rats are so smart. It seems like all the rats do is just get into a big ball and jump on people and then bite them till they die. This is not super intelligent rat behavior. This is just regular rat behavior. Any group of rats, when you have 50,000 rats in a building, they're going to attack people like that. And also, they show these scenes of the rats, and you can just see the rat shit everywhere on the floor. Like, there's just rat crap everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, this place must have smelled so bad and been so disgusting.
I remember I looked over at you and I said, is that rat shit? And you were like, it sure is. I was like, oh, that's really disgusting. Because there was so much of it. If I was working on that, I would have insisted that I get to wear boots, and I would tuck my pants into the boots and then tie it off with a string. Because there's no rat getting up there. I'm going to tell you right now, each of those actors probably got paid like fucking $25. My ass is not going to be on any movie. I don't care how famous I want to be. No rats being thrown at me. I'm fucking stepping around fucking rats. Rats are being thrown on me. There's rat poop everywhere. No.
And then at one point, there's just a tarantula walking across the board.
Oh, God.
And the girl that lost her mind sees that, and she shits her pants even worse when she sees the tarantula walking. And it's like, oh, okay, is the tarantula in league with the rats, or is he just passing through?
Yeah, like the one randomized tarantula. Like, why?
I feel like later on, the rats saw him and were like, oh, dude, this is not your neighborhood. And they just ate him. You were supposed to be in Kingdom of the Spiders down the road. You were not supposed to be in the Rats Night of Terror.
It was a night of terror for us as viewers.
For having to watch it.
Because it was a tough watch.
Now, this movie is 42 years old.
This is a movie that I mean, I know you were not one frequently like bars and like clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But me, I have been to many of them, and my fondest memories are when I would look up, and it wouldn't be some fucking sports game playing. It would be like a random fucking horror movie. This is a perfect horror movie to be playing in a fucking like bar. Like where there's no sound. You're just looking at these crazy ass fucking images while you're fucking having a drink. And you're just like, what the hell is going on? You know, and it's not anything that you really got to pay attention to. It's just crazy imagery just to like, you know, whatever, for the fucking atmosphere. That I seen Eyes with the first time I ever saw, or I shouldn't say saw because obviously I didn't see the whole thing, but Eyes Without a Face was in that kind of situation, and that's a fucking fantastic movie. And I was like, I need to know the name of this movie, and this is before, you know, cell phones and Google. So I was just like, I was like, I don't care if I have to wait here all fucking night. I'm finding the name of this movie, you know, the name of this movie out. So it's just that kind of a thing. Like this is a perfect film for that, because it's just, I mean, there's gory stuff happens. Just to see, you know, I feel like this is a film that you should at least experience once. Just, you know, maybe play like a drinking game out of it, or just have some friends over and just you know.
This would be one to watch with a group and make fun of.
Yeah, this is like a mystery, like science theater fucking movie.
Here's my thing. My favorite part of the movie, besides the fact it ended, was the end. Was at the end, you see some people coming. And they're all in the same hazmat suits as the scientists.
They all are coming out from underground. So you're like, oh, finally, these people are coming out. And
the rescue team, because the scientists in their message mention, like, there's a rescue team coming.
Yes.
So here comes everybody in the yellow hazmat suits with the gas masks on. And they have, like, a big smoker thing looks like the things they used to, and they smoke like around the bee nest. They're spraying rat poison everywhere.
They sure are, but this is the best thing about that. You mentioned it was a fucking smoke machine that had like altered.
It just looked like a fucking like smoke machine. It's just blowing all this smoke everywhere. It's killing the rats left and right. And the people are like, at this point, there's only 2 people left. There's Chocolate and Video is all that's left.
Yeah. Also, question now that because we haven't really talked about this ending, we didn't really discuss this at all. When they're doing their whole thing with the rats and all the rats are dying or whatever, why didn't they do this sooner? Like, this is what doesn't make any sense. We don't actually know how long from the moment that these people arrived, the gang arrived, to how long those people had been dead in there. Like,
it could have only been a day or 2, and it just took the people a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah, but like the message, and it seemed like the rats had been. It was a reign of terror, like for a long period of time. But yes, the people were coming. So maybe there was like 2 weeks. Like you said, rats fucking breed really fast. So it's just crazy to me, like how long it took for them to like come up. But fine.
Well, even in Aliens, when the guy said, "How long if we're declared overdue before a rescue?" and he said 17 days. So like it's one of those things. Like, we didn't hear from them. We're gonna send somebody, but we got to wait a little while, make sure the radio's just not broken or whatever. So
yeah.
So they're smoking the rats and killing them, and then they put the fog everywhere. The rats are dying, and then Video and Chocolate are like, yay, the rats are dying.
And they're getting poisoned because everyone's in a hazmat suit. They're not. They're like barely wearing clothes, and they don't have any cover on their face, so they're like fucking choking, and they're stumbling down, down the stairs, down to the main level.
These hazmat suited guys pick them up and carry them outside into the fresh air. And they're coughing and everything, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you guys from underground? Are you the relief for the scientists?" And they're like,
and Chocolate,
they're nodding their heads.
They're nodding,
like,
and
yes.
Chocolate's like, "I once heard about this book where all people and animals live together in unity. It was called the Bible." I'm sorry.
It was just random, like, okay.
What the fuck is happening?
And then they're like, "Are you the people from underground?" And they're like, "Yeah." They just nod their heads, yes. And then one of them takes off the gas mask, and you see he's a rat person.
He is full. It's just like, but the makeup is so terrible. It
looks
really
like they
bad.
just took like extra hair and put it like on a monkey mask and covered up the mouth.
Yes, and like all you see is the eyes, but it's like you are like, okay, this is supposed to be a rat. There's no dialogue, and the movie ends. Like,
she's just screaming and screaming. Chocolate just keeps screaming and screaming, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, because that was the last thing she said. She said all animals, all humans and animals live together, and it was called the Bible. And she goes, and then Video's like, "Are we friends? Are we friends?" And the thing kind of like slightly shakes his head no. That's when it freaking takes off the mask, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
It's rat people!
Yeah, which...
The people are made out of rats! Oh. Charlton Heston just runs down the street screaming that all of a sudden.
Now, I don't know at what point in the movie, because I called 2 things in this fucking movie. I don't know at what point in the movie that I was like, it's gonna fucking be rats. I think it was when the scientist came on and he was saying how the people underground were the scientists, they were going to come up and they were sophisticated, because they had said right on at the beginning of the movie they were sophisticated underground. And once the scientist was like, "Oh, we suspect that the rats got mutated. This is my question. Was the fucking scientist a rat? Obviously he was a rat." So he was talking about his brethren. He was like, "Oh, these fucking disgusting animals." And I remember, like midway through the movie, I was like, "This is Planet of the Apes, but with rats. It's Planet of the Rats."
That's why we kept saying it's Ratmageddon.
Ratmageddon.
We're going to kick off Ratuary with this movie.
Ratuary. Ooh. Don't ask me why I'm doing the Star Wars chant.
The Wookiee thing?
The Wookiee, yeah.
But yeah, so that's how it ends, and mercifully, that was it. Now, like I said, if you had made this a 30 to 40 minute Tales from the Crypt, I'd have been like, oh, okay. Because you'd have cut out a lot of the stuff, just had a few less characters in it, kill off a few of them, and then you reveal the end. Oh no, the rat people are here. It'd have been pretty fun. But at like an hour and a half, it was just too long.
Because the people weren't doing anything, and then
the characters weren't interesting.
They weren't. They weren't interesting. I didn't care about any of them.
They were just stereotypes. They were like, I'm the sexy girl. Oh, my character trait is I'm the black girl. I'm the Hare Krishna. That was it. That was whatever they were wearing. That was their character trait.
And it was just so. The writing was just. I mean, the dialogue is. Yeah, like I said, it was just not.
I mean,
good.
This is coming from the guy who wrote Night Killer. Night Killer is a fantastically bad movie too. It's a little. It reminds me a little of Scream because you got the guy calling from inside the house. He's calling. It's a ridiculous movie, but. Yeah, so obviously this is not an A-list movie.
When a stranger calls.
And in Scream, because he's telling her how he's going to kill her.
Yeah, in Scream, I know. But when a stranger calls is the first one to me. So he can't reference Scream because it's not the original film that does it. I'm putting a fucking Billy Loomis on you right now.
Okay.
With the whole... the whole psycho bit line where he gets mad because they don't know where it's from.
Yeah, so... This is not even a C movie, a B movie. This is like a C- movie.
I'm not gonna even give it a to D or A to F rating. I'm gonna give this movie 1 knife.
I gave it a half a knife because it was just
damn half a knife. I gave it 1 knife because there was not only was there boobs and bush, which I know sounds really terrible, but I mean, come on, but. There was slight there
was some slight penis in there.
There was slight penis, okay? So, just for the nudity, I'm giving it the extra
half star.
The extra half star. Because if there was no nudity, I don't think I would have been able to sit through this. I was just waiting for the part because I was like, oh, it's an Italian film and there's a lot of fucking people in this movie, like a lot of women and men. There's going to be at some point, there's going to be some nudity. And it was fine. You know, I wasn't mad about it. The rat traveling through the woman's vagina and then coming out of her mouth, which I'm not a scientist, but I don't know if that's even possible, but that was a bit much.
Yeah.
But we've never seen that on screen. So kudos to you, Rat Night of Terror.
Yeah.
Because I don't even...
You pulled off something exciting.
Now, we probably should have preemptively said spoiler alert, even though the movie is 40-something years old.
I don't think it really matters if you spoil this. I'm sure we didn't do a lot of research on this one before we watched it, so I'm sure... If you do 2 seconds of research on this movie, it's going to pop up with a picture of that guy in the rat suit. You're going to be like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's a really bad... I don't know why, but he kind of looked like a bear. He kind of looked like Paddington, but dressed in a little, like, yellow, like when he wears a little yellow coat.
Yeah, he wears a yellow slicker and everything.
Yes, that's what, even though it wasn't a slicker, but that's what it reminded me of. He looked like a little bear. He didn't look like a rat. But we get that it was... but I have so many questions, though, about the rat thing. We're just going to throw them out there, okay? Even if you have any questions or fucking solutions, please go on any social media, Instagram, let us know. Send us an email at staytunedtothehorror@gmail.com. One, how did they become rat people at the bottom if the humans initially... went down, and because the scientists did mention this, so when the humans went down, obviously it was a lot of humans that went down underground because of the bomb, that all the rats went up above ground. So that's why there's so many rats above ground, because they were kind of like thrown out of their house, which is typical human fucking behavior, right? Like that's a typical thing we do as humans, right? We're taking over everything and everything just has to just move the fuck away. All the animals gone. So that's okay. But then when they got there, did some of them get, oh no, I got some radiation on me and maybe a fucking rat bit me, and that's how it became?
They got like Spider-Man. They got bit by a radioactive rat. They turned into rat people.
I mean, that rat was real comfortable going in that lady's vagina. Is that how they got? Like, there's no way that the rat could have impregnated the women. I just don't know. I just need to fucking know how they became rat people. I just need to know that the rats that were down there did the rats that were already down there, did none of them, some of them leave and they became mutated and they grew to like full like adulthood rats, like human size, and that was the mutation.
And all there was enough years, of them. And in 200 years. Not like there was 2,000 years or 20,000 years for this to happen. No. In 200 years.
That's too short for evolution.
They went from rats to rat people, driving cars, using tools, wearing hazmat suits, everything. So they're not going to explain that.
No, there's no explanation because there is no possible explanation. It's just to fucking show some crazy shit at the end of the movie.
Yep.
There was no thought whatsoever. But that leaves me with so many questions. But I get they're not going to be answered. I'm just going to have to just go with one and just be like that's what it was and move on. But that's why it gets the one knife from me.
Okay, because you got your curiosity about the rat people.
Well, the naked is the other half.
Okay.
So half was just for the stupid shit that happened in the movie and the gore, which I'm not into the gore, but it's you're never gonna see this. This is just something you're just not gonna fucking see. And then the other half is for the, I don't even know, maybe minute screen time of nudity, if that. That was it from both male and female. So, and that the male dude, that motherfucker was fit. I mean, now in 2026, which we forgot to say, Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. This is our first episode of 2026, which is pretty crazy. And we didn't even think about this. We started right out the gate with fucking post-apocalyptic, which is not good. We probably should pull this episode back and keep it for later on, so we don't start our year with some crazy ass apocalyptic movie where rats are taking over. Yeah. Like, that's not a good look. But here we are. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about this movie.
Yeah, it's see it with a group, because watching it alone, you're gonna get real depressed.
Yeah, not depressed. You're just gonna be like, you have to be on some kind of substance, like not the substance, a substance.
Yeah.
To get through the film by yourself, because there's no way. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our new episode, our first episode of 2026. Woo-hoo! Ratuary. Now we gotta find some other rat infested film to do.
Maybe Ratuary. It starts and ends with rats and Night of Terror. We'll have to see. Is there another rat movie we should watch? Let us know.
Rats. Isn't there a movie just named Rats?
Yes. That's why this one's Rats, Night of Terror, I think, is to separate it from the other movie just called Rats. Or no, I think the other one I'm thinking of is Deadly Eyes. It's the one where it's chihuahuas or whatever dressed in rat costumes that they turn loose.
Okay. I can't. Thank you so much. I have to. You fucked me up with that one.
We should watch that one.
And stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.